the Taysom Hill, Jim Thorpe thing, what is going on there? I mean, we were talking about that on the show here, Ross. I love you. I really do. But Jim Thorpe was a Major League Baseball player, a gold medalist Olympian, and one of the greatest football players of all time. Taysom Hill, my man, come on.
Dude, I meant everything I said about Taysom Hill.
Well, that's wrong.
Look, he's one of the best pure all-around football players of all time. He is.
You can't compare him to Jim Thorpe, who was a gold medalist Olympian in the decathlon.
He's the Jim Thorpe of modern day.
No,
NFL.
he's not. No, don't
Yes,
say that.
Yes, he is. DA, can you name anybody else, any other NFL player in our lifetime, okay, who started games at quarterback, 7-2 as a starting quarterback is his record, who also returns kicks, who also is the punt protector and runs down on punts and kickoffs and makes tackles, who also gets split out wide as a receiver and they throw him fade balls in the end zone. He plays tight end. He plays running back. He plays tailback. He blocks. Here's the thing, okay? Let's just say Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, let's just say they're two of the best quarterbacks ever. Agreed, right?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. So in terms of all-around football players, Tom Brady can't tackle anybody. Tom Brady can't run with the ball or block anybody. I'm not talking about, the production they've had in their career. I'm not talking about, all-time greats. He's not having that kind of career. He's not that type of player. I'm talking about, if we're starting a football team, and you could only have one guy and you clone him 11 times. Who else are you taking? Maybe Micah Parsons is up there because he's such a freak and could probably play a bunch of positions. My point is, in terms of an all-around football player and everything that a pure football player could be asked to do in a game, I don't know anybody else like Taysom Hill, dude.
Taysom Hill
He runs with speed. He's fast as heck. He runs with power. He has a really strong arm. He blocks, and he knocks the crap out of people when he blocks. He runs down and makes tackles. What is the Venn diagram of guys that have started games at quarterback in the NFL and also run down on kickoffs and make tackles? Look at the Venn diagram, DA. It's just Taysom Hill. He's the only guy in the Venn diagram.
Are we done here? I understand what you're saying in terms of the value and versatility of Taysom Hill on the football field, but you cannot in this argument say, I'm not talking about the all-time greats, and then invoke one of the 10 greatest athletes in global history. Jim Thorpe is the name you brought up, and he's an all-time great. If you want to say Taysom Hill's one of the most versatile football players, fine. But don't say Jim Thorpe, who played professional baseball and won a gold medal in the decathlon, along with being one of the greatest football players of all time, because Taysom Hill's not anything close to that.
You know what? Maybe if Taysom Hill was around back when Jim Thorpe was.
Oh, come on. Don't do this.
Why are you... Dude, did you write a book about Jim Thorpe or something?
No, I respect the history of guys that...
You are really passionate about Jim Thorpe.
Yes, because what you said is hyperbole. What you said is complete hyperbole, and you know it.
I mean what I said. I think he's the perfect football player.
Well,
I meant that.
But you can't compare him to Jim freaking Thorpe. It's disrespectful to Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe has a town named after him. Taysom Hill doesn't.
I know. I actually don't live that far from there.
Right.
I know. That's how Jim Thorpe
You
was in
should
my
be
head.
writing the book on Jim Thorpe.
We move on. Look, DA, I spent every second my whole life to try to make the NFL, and I made it, and I played guard and center for 7 years, and I can't even begin to tell you how hard that is to do. Okay, think about everybody driving right now. Think about your high school. Think about the best football player ever from your high school. Did they make the NFL? And if they did, for how long, the fact that Taysom Hill can legitimately play that many positions.
You're right.
In the end, like, I'm in awe of it.
It's
Forget
totally
the Jim Thorpe thing, okay?
Yes.
Forget the Jim Thorpe thing because he played all the other sports. It's a little bit different, although I'm sure Taysom Hill is from Idaho. I bet you right now, Taysom Hill, you know what? Google it. I guarantee Taysom Hill played like 17 sports in Idaho and was all-state Idaho all sports in all 17 sports.
Well, I think it's interesting because I would agree with you that Taysom Hill's versatility is amazingly impressive. But where I'm coming from is Jim Thorpe's versatility is so wildly impressive on top of what Taysom Hill is that you can't even compare the two, because Thorpe's versatility is like otherworldly alien if you can play those many professional sports. But that's like whatever.
Here's what I would say. Here's how I call him, okay? He's not like Jim Thorpe because he's not playing 4 professional sports, although nobody can now. I would say he's the Jim Thorpe of the modern NFL, meaning in the same sense that Jim Thorpe excelled at decathlete. You know, Jim Thorpe played basketball too, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, people found that out later. Jim Thorpe played basketball too. So in the same way that Jim Thorpe excelled at 4 different sports back in the day, Taysom Hill is, I think, very impressive at a number of different aspects of playing professional football.
Yes, we would agree there.
Of
yes.
which I am like stunned that a human being can do. Now, maybe you can make the argument that maybe there's other guys that could do similar stuff to Taysom Hill, but they're so excellent at one thing that they're not asked to do that. You know, like I saw, like Micah Parsons grew up right next to where I live. Like I saw him play high school running back, and let me assure you, he could probably play running back in the NFL if he wanted to.
I bet you there's a bunch of guys, you're right, that are such incredible athletes they could actually excel at multiple positions on the football field. So I don't want to take that away from Taysom Hill. And you know that I love you, and I love that you're...
Hey, speaking of that, by the way,
yeah,
because you're a New York guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At what point, and I'm asking your opinion, it's a question, at what point is it okay to compare Micah Parsons and what we're seeing from him to a guy like LT?
Not yet. I mean, he's clearly on a track to be one of the best players of the NFL for a while, but as you know, Lawrence Taylor steps into the Giants, and by, I don't know, week 2 or week 3, it's like, oh my God, this is the best defensive player in the NFL probably. He completely turns around the New York Giants defense, and he is a terror that changes offensive blocking schemes. I mean, Joe Gibbs basically had to alter his entire scheme to figure out ways to stop LT. He's a one-man wrecking crew. He's the